bringing you the brightest in the bluegrass. This is Everyday Kentucky.
Well, welcome back to Everyday Kentucky. I'm India Jones. And that's Jim Caldwell. And if you don't know who this lovely lady is, this is, of course, the amazing, the wonderful, the so talented Chef Ouita. And, of course, you brought so many good and yummy goodies for us today, which is why Jim cannot talk, which is typical for him when you bring goodies. His mouth is full.
It's my secret strategy to get more airtime.
I love that. That's genius. Get him to stop talking.
I give Jim a whole lot of cookies, and then, you know, I get to stay longer.
I love that. You know, we'll just push him out of the way.
What kind of projects have you got working on right now? I mean, you just opened up the new studio where people can come and they can learn from you. And
yes.
What other things you got going on?
Well, we have a big new website called Holly Hill & Co. It's about 12 months old, but for a website like this one, is just it's a little baby. So it's hollyhillandco.com, and there's no ads on it, because one of the things I hate is when you search for a recipe online and you go to a blog, it's just ad. It drives me insane. Yep. Plus then you have to watch them going through everything besides just the recipe. So this is our way of telling the food story of Central Kentucky, how food connects us, what our food culture is all about here, plus recipes. We profile all different kinds of farmers, other local chefs, and it's just been a joy. I mean, it's really been fantastic. I feel so lucky.
It sounds great. I mean, that really does. And you're right. You go looking for a recipe, and then you have to watch something else. Or yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Well, it started at COVID. You know, when they shut all the restaurants down for a bit, I realized, hey, we have to develop some other revenue streams besides bringing people inside a restaurant to sit down. So we started by rebranding our whole group so that people would understand that all of my restaurants were connected. We have a certain value structure that we operate by, and also we wanted to set up an online store. We started selling these cookies all across the country during COVID. We just, not like we do in this nice website, we just straight up bootstrapped it online. We sold thousands of boxes because people couldn't go to the nursing homes. They couldn't see their parents, their elderly parents. We got notes from all over the country, especially for Mother's Day 2020. It made us all just cry, and that gave rise to this whole idea. And I realized, hey, you know, when you make something from scratch and we use all Weisenberger flour, we want it to be a real expression of Central Kentucky. And it inspired us to see what we could do.
And you've done very, very well. We appreciate you being here, and of course all the cookies and everything you're doing out there in the community too.
I appreciate that.
All right, you ready to talk about some trending topics?
Yes, please.
Of course you are. Let's look at some more of those right now. Kroger Family Fun Day was in full swing on Saturday at the 2023 Barbasol Championship.
And it was a full fun day of family-friendly activities, including fun inflatables and face painting. A golf simulator let families try their hand on the iron.
Family Day started a couple years ago, and then it just kind of kept going ever since then. It was a huge hit, and we've had a lot of families come through and had good feedback about it. So we're here today still having Family Day every year.
The championship wrapped up yesterday. Swedish golfer Vincent Norman won the tournament, and English golfer Nathan Kempsey was the runner-up. Did I say all those names right?
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
make sure you don't always have to look at Jim just to confirm that I've said someone's name correctly.
Well, here's the thing. You know, some of these are up and comers. You know, and as they'll tell you, some you've never heard of, but you want to hear more about them.
Absolutely.
And that's what a tournament like the Barbasol has been. It can be a launching pad for somebody's career. You know,
right.
Big win right there for him, and then it carries you forward. So,
and fingers crossed, it'll be back year after year. We can continue with this tradition.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Did you have you been out at any year over the past few years?
I have not been able to get out there, but I think it's such an important part of our community because it brings a PGA event to our town, and I just want them to know how much we appreciate that. Anytime we can put our facilities front and center like that.
Yes.
And to have a young man win that way, win that, you know, in that playoff and just come away a champion, that is just awesome.
That's exciting stuff.
That is exciting.
And you know, it's stuff like that gets a little more national play. You know, they pick it up on, you know, the Golf Digest 100%. And you see it all shared around. So yeah, it's some good stuff.
Kentucky's big in golf. I mean, we have great courses all across the state, and we need to really let the world know that.
Right, and as you saw there in that video, it's not all about golfers. They had the Family
Right.
Fun Day stuff going on too.
Right.
So I mean, it's a good event for that and the charitable stuff as well.
Well, here's one of my favorite stores. Well, Sam's Club is offering educators $20 memberships from Monday through August 15th, and that's 60% less than the normal price.
It's a deal right there. It's for state licensed pre-K through 12 teachers, principals, and assistant principals. College and university professors also can get the deal. Sam's Club says it's offering the discount since many educators pay for their own classroom supplies.
That's true.
And they do, and they do. And this is absolutely wonderful to see them trying to help out the educators in our communities.
I completely love Sam's through and through. I'm not a Costco gal just yet. I am a Sam's gal. And what's even better is yesterday I drove past Sam's and gas was $3.09.
That's right. It's hard to find cheaper gas.
I was so excited about that. I know. That shouldn't be my focus right now. Of course, we congratulate all of the educators who are able to get a Sam's Club membership for $20. But of course, the Sam's Club gas is a wonderful perk if you have the card.
It is. You get that card and you get the cheap stuff for sure. Well, Twitter owner Elon Musk says the company is still bleeding money.
It's your fault, sir.
Well.
I'm just kidding. Well, Musk disclosed on Twitter that the company has seen a 50% drop in advertising revenue, and it is carrying a heavy debt load. So at the moment, Twitter is operating with a negative cash flow. More than half of the top 1,000 advertisers on Twitter left after Musk took control of the company just last year. And that's according to market intelligence firm Sensor Tower. Besides a loss in advertising revenue, Twitter also is facing a challenge from Meta's new app called Threads. Oh, we've all seen this. And it had more than 100 million downloads less than a week after it debuted. That is insane. I still haven't jumped on the Threads bandwagon. Have you, Chef Ouita?
I haven't. I did get off Twitter. I was Chef Tweeta.
Were you really?
Yeah, that was my.
That's a great name.
I know, that's what tickled me so much just now.
Twitter was predated Instagram, you know, so I was on Twitter, and I got myself into some hot water here and there political discussions, and I realized, you know, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I need to just let people be. And I got to be a little bit negative, and then I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I need to spend my time on things that are positive and get my news from, not from social media, but get my news from
places like this, right?
Yeah,
news shows like this
absolutely.
and reputable sources and places that are getting their facts right. And I don't want the echo chamber. And so that's it. I'm no longer Chef Tweeta.
Well, I really love that name, though. I do. That's a fantastic name to be able to latch on
I
to
know,
that.
right? That was good. Is your Instagram still Chef Tweeta?
No. My Instagram is Chef Ouita.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Ouita Michael on Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure, you still posting over there?
Oh yeah, I try to post every day. I don't do it as much as I'm supposed to, but I'm getting better, and I do all my own. Nobody does it for me.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
do all my own.
All right. Well, if this raccoon could talk, it would be thanking these two Ohio police officers for saving its life.
Early Thursday morning, two Painesville officers spotted the masked bandit struggling with a mayonnaise jar stuck on its head.
Oh.
After a couple of minutes, police were finally able to get the jar off. The police department stated in its Facebook post, "You never know what you'll see on the night shift."
Here's my thing. Who's the random guy?
What's the random guy run from the thing, too?
He was like this. I'm gone. We do not play, man.
But, here's the thing. How'd that raccoon get that mayonnaise jar in his head?
Right.
I'm sure he's going through some garbage out there. We know. We're watching you, raccoon. In today's live poll, India.
Oh, that's mine. In today's live poll, we are asking, are you playing the Powerball? Looks like 50% say yes and 43% say no.
That's where we are. You can, of course, go check it out on Facebook and Instagram. Look for our stories on those two pages, sites, apps, whatever it is, and you can go find it,
I was going to
right?
say, where are we going?
I know, right?
What are we talking about?
We're going to dig in with Ouita a little bit more because we're getting to know more about the participating locations for the upcoming restaurant. I'm getting as bad as you.
Yes,
Lexington
man.
Restaurant Week.
Okay, now, Chef Ouita, if you don't mind telling us a little bit more about what we have, because of course, Lexington Restaurant Week is the 20th through the 30th, if I can remember correctly, and
That's
so
right.
we have roughly around 38 participating participating restaurants. Tell us about some of the items that you've created, of course, for this wonderful time.
Well, from our group, we have Honeywood and Holly Hill Inn and Zim's all in Lexington Restaurant Week. And I brought with me today, it's, you know, all our stuff's local. That's what we're all about. And so we brought the Honeywood's watermelon salad. That's a Happy Jack's pumpkin patch, but really watermelon patch, slice of watermelon with lime juice, and these are little ground cherries. I don't know if you've all ever had a little ground cherry. They look like little, I'll bring one out later during the break, they look like little baby tomatillos. They're sweet, but they're relative of the tomato. And a little feta, lime, mint syrup, and this is their special Maker's Mark cocktail. Maker's Mark is one of the sponsors of Lexington Restaurant Week, and they did a special bourbon. All the restaurateurs got together down at the distillery, and they have this amazing program where you can mix all the woods up, and that is what got bottled for the Lexington Restaurant Week. And each restaurant, not just my restaurants, but every restaurant participating, will have a special Maker's cocktail out of this bourbon that you can also buy. So this is our Honeywood, which is a beet and blackberry and strawberry shrub with this bourbon, a little bit of lemon juice. And this is from Holly Hill, we soaked local blueberries in vermouth. And so it's like a Manhattan. So those are local blueberries in the bottom. So it's the bourbon, a little bit of lemon juice, this berry vermouth, and a couple little dashes of bitters. And those are tarragon marigolds in there. And over here we have a bean Caesar salad. So a lot of times, right now is bean season. So if you love green beans, now is the time, people. They came in last week. They are at the farmer's market. They are so good. We also have all kinds of heirloom varieties, greasy beans. I mean, in Kentucky, we are so lucky to have the farming community that we have. Yes. And many seed savers have brought these generations of varieties of beans down through the generations. So we have some of those in there, plus tenderettes, our Caesar dressing, a sourdough crouton, soft-boiled egg, fried garlic, shaved manchego, preserved lemon, bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bing, bing. These are our first courses for Lexington Restaurant Week at Honeywood and at Holly Hill Inn.
So are you doing 3 or 4 courses?
Holly Hill is 4.
Okay.
Honeywood is 3. But Holly Hill is 4 because the first course is an amuse-bouche. I think everybody does 3, no matter where you go, no matter what restaurant you're in. It's a 3-course menu. Zim's is also doing 3.
Okay.
But at Holly Hill, we always have a little something.
I see. All right, now let's think about this for a second. I grew up in Eastern Kentucky, and when we would come to Lexington to eat, to doctor's appointment, whatever the case may have been, you know, school shopping, we did it up here a lot. We would go to just a chain restaurant. But because of Lexington Restaurant Week, it can show people out in the community, and the communities are away from Lexington. There are some great food, local choices around here.
In Kentucky, we have the best restaurant city in Kentucky here in Lexington. I'm sorry, Louisville. I love Louisville, but our Lexington independent operating community is second to none. And we have a huge variety of those kinds of restaurants. We have every age group represented. Later today, our guest is Debbie Long, who has owned Dudley's Restaurant for more than 35 years. She's my mentor. I feel like she's the queen of the Lexington cuisine scene. And to have her, she's kind of given rise to so many young chefs. I was one of them 30 years ago at Dudley. So I feel like we've had this long tradition in Lexington. We've had the Coach House, which has been torn down, National Restaurant Hall of Fame. Mr. Demas, who opened that restaurant, is still alive at 101 years old.
Wow.
I mean, we've had legacy in this city. Jericho started in Lexington. You may have eaten at a chain restaurant. You may have eaten at a Jerry's restaurant, a Long John Silver's. Those all started right here in Central Kentucky.
That's right, yeah.
So you were eating at a chain restaurant, but it was a homegrown. Think about Bluegrass Hospitality and the impact that they have made with their Malones, celebrating 25 years.
And it's delicious. It's
delicious.
It is. You're
Tell me about Long John Silver's. Are you serious?
I am serious. Fazoli's, Long John Silver's, Jerry's restaurants. They were all operated from right here in Lexington.
Headquarters for Fazoli's is still here, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, we do not play in this town.
I see, Chef Ouita.
When it comes to chefs and restaurateurs, we have the goods in Lexington.
We do for sure. And we're going to talk more about it coming up, so don't go anywhere. We've got more coming up after the break.
Keep it right here on Everyday Kentucky.